Morning, market snipers. Welcome back. This is Jesse getting started right at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Yet again, this is our 14th consecutive live stream while the stock market is open. And we will do our very best to break our previous streak of 75. Never a guarantee, but we will do our best. So, with that, if you're brand new to the channel, awesome. Welcome, because first 15-30 minutes, we're going to go through the charts very heavily, very deeply, and very quickly. So we're going to rock and roll, get through Bitcoin, crypto, stocks, NASDAQ. We look at the Magnificent Seven and everything else in between there. So just make sure that when you comment an asset you'd like me to chart, try to get it early on in the live stream, as early as you can. Maybe you're showing up late and you want to try to squeeze in an asset for me to chart. Let me know if it's crypto. Let me know the name of it, the trading symbol, all the details on it in the comment. That way we can talk about it talk about your asset through my lens, right? So we'll take a look at it. Good morning, Javier. Welcome back. John Pye. Hello, everybody. Welcome back, John Pye. Good to see you guys back in here. So Bitcoin. Before we get into Bitcoin, we're gonna start off with Bitcoin. But before we do that, let's take a quick look at the heat map. Just get an overall. This is the stock heat map. Just get an overall glance. Apple down 1%, Nvidia almost 1%, AVGO at 1.26%, Google 1%, Microsoft flat. I'm just doing the bigger ones because they're kind of the market movers, right? Tesla down 2.5%, Amazon almost down 1%. So with that, let's move over real quick to this daily view. We don't look at it every single day, but we do take a look at it when we start to look at things that are interesting, right? We were talking about how this is the S&P 500% of stocks above the 200-day moving average. Why do we look at that, right? Well, because many investors believe or think that whether it's the 200-day moving average or the 200-week moving average, many algorithms and investors will say that it's either in a bull market if it's above it, or a bear market if it's below it. So in this case, it was 23% of all S&P 500 stocks were above the 200-day moving average, meaning that 76% you would say that would be in a bear market. Then it pumped all the way up to 81.6%. And that might have been the peak, at least the local high, right? So we talked about that. We covered it. What if it comes back, pulls back to these MAs? My trading strategy doesn't involve MAs, but I do like to look at them for like bookmarks, kind of, because a lot of people think it's important. So we do take a look at them. And we're talking about the MACD, crossing over here, or is this not the MACD? It looks like the MACD, PPO. I don't know. So probably have to update that. But it's a free subscription, so I probably can't update it. But anyways, so back down to 70% of all S&P 500 stocks are above the 200-day moving average, meaning 30% are considered to be back in a bear market. So with that, don't forget to smash the subscribe button. Don't forget to smash the like button. Also follow me over here on Jesse Olson. My blue check mark came back on. But anytime you change your photo, they remove your blue check mark and they double check you again. It's back on today. So definitely go take a look at it. Don't forget to follow me over here, Market Sniper Pro over here. And then, of course, our free newsletter. We're doing write-ups at least on a weekly basis, doing the longer ones. And then we're starting to do, we are starting to do shorter ones throughout the week as well. So hopefully I can find some time to ramp that up as we continue on. So one longer write-up per week, and then maybe some quicker, shorter term newsletters get sent out throughout the week as well. But my intent is not to spam you whatsoever. So definitely throw in your email over here and stay up to date with the longer form version. Usually includes the videos as well too, like that. And of course, this is the only website we have, and you can also subscribe to the newsletter over there. With that, let's do a quick recap. Ollie, hello. Welcome back, Ollie. Lawrence, what up, Lawrence? Welcome back. Hernan, good morning. Good morning. Welcome back. So I always like to do a quick recap of Bitcoin. The very quick version, right? It was oversold, bullish divergence, reversal candle, higher low. Price took off to the upside. And it leads me to believe if you go over onto Twitter, right, you're going to see a lot of influencers who aren't traders. And they're going to talk about, Bitcoin consolidating, right? Bitcoin's consolidating. A big move is coming next, right? A big move. Well, it usually doesn't work out that way, right? So what happens is we just had a big move, right? Yes, we just had a big move. And yes, we're consolidating, right? Bitcoin is consolidating, but it usually takes time to play out. It's already been, this is a big move, consolidated, another big move. Now it's looking like the correction mode. And on the ticker scroller over here, it's on my left screen. it's on your main screen over here. I talked about is Bitcoin putting in a bear flag? Yes, it's consolidating, right? But I'm not expecting a huge move to the upside, possibly a bigger move to the downside. But if it's consolidating to make a bigger move to the upside, and we're going to go up back into target 4 and above and beyond and go challenge all-time highs, and we're in a full bull run, and it's post halving and all that stuff is all lined up, right? Then it's going to take some time to play out. And so don't worry, I've got you covered. I got it all right here. I'm going to show it to you, but just keep going to the recap. It was overbought. There was bearish divergence, right? Bearish divergence all the way up here. And then it got all the way up into the longer term target 4 at $49,000. This was a bearish candle. We were talking about it. We covered it. It looked very similar to MicroStrategy. And we kept saying, is MicroStrategy being a leading indicator? Because MicroStrategy did it on January 2nd, right? And then Michael Saylor sold per internet Twitter sources. They had posted the SEC filings. I didn't personally go onto SEC filings. I don't really care that much. I'm just pointing it out, right? And then after that bearish candle, we were talking about it, covering it, then it dumped down. And that was a 15% move in 2 days. From wick to wick in 2 day span, it dropped 15%. Now, the aftermath, right? The aftermath. Some profit taking probably from some shorts. Let it gain some momentum. Let the trending dots catch up. Let the moving averages catch up. Could be putting in this bear flag. You know my thoughts. If you've been following me for a long time, you know my thoughts on patterns. They work great as ideas, but I think it's a low percentage that they work out, and then it's an even lower percentage that the target prices work out. But with that said, after the bearish divergence, this could be a sneaky lower high over here, and then this is a sell signal. And of course, this candle closed here, took out this pivot point here. So in my opinion, it seems like there is a lower high and a lower low, and then we're going to continue to see if we're going to put in lower lows and continue down. Now, this is the visual part of it, right? So we're really back into this area here, but we talked about it yesterday and the day before and the day before and the day before that. Back in here, we talked about how price could come back up into the trending dots. Maybe it doesn't even get that high. Maybe it goes higher. Who knows? And then comes back down. It would be putting in another lower high and then come back down. So in my opinion, with the trending dots trending down and everything that's on the table, it seems like the probabilities are increasing that we're going to see the next target hit. Target 1's already been hit, right? I even added on this 5th target down here, right? Because it lines up closer to the 200-week moving average. So I put on this 5th target. Usually I just put on the 4, sometimes just 3, but 4 targets. I typically try to find 4 targets. And so target 1 was already hit. We'll see if it gets into target 2, target 3, target 4. I'm going to move this one to yellow, right? And I'm going to move this one to yellow. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I have multiple major reasons why price could come back down to hit target 3 and target 4. We will see if it works out or not. I put this downward trend line, this phantom downward trend line, as we talked about. There's no second touch point yet. We'll expect a second touch point and even more to draw this out, and we'll map it out. This is just a phantom downward trend line based off of like how long I think it takes to go through a correction, consolidate. Hopefully we put in some bullish divergence, just like we did at the bottom over here, and just like we had bearish divergence over there. So please, market makers, put in some bullish divergence, and that way we can nail the bottom yet again, right? So that's what we're hoping. That's what we're waiting for. As of right now, the sell signal could be putting the bear flag. If you were to draw out a bear flag, right, you take the pull and then wherever the breakdown is, and that kind of lines up close to where, target 3 is, the next yellow box, right? So it's close, right? So you kind of draw it out like this, probably have to drop down to lower time frames, right, to kind of see it a little bit better. But this is how you would kind of draw it out, and it actually lines up. It actually lines up, and it could continue to be in this bear flag, right? Doesn't mean it's the bear flag is done forming. And so if it is higher, you could probably even pump it up like that, maybe. But that would fit our narrative that price is going to go lower. And that idea kind of works out, and it looks like a bear flag is forming, right? And then we will see if that works out or not. And it comes down to this target. More importantly, right? Most importantly, is that there's a confluence of sniper targets down here. There's a sniper confluence of targets down here. And I will be surprised if we don't go down and hit at least this target. Doesn't mean it's going to hit these targets with high certainty, but the probabilities continue to increase, and I'd be surprised if we don't at least come down and hit this target, and then we'll see this target, and then look for that next buy the dip scenario that we've been talking about and we've been covering for a long time after hitting longer term target 4 and before the halving, and then start to make its move to the upside. Woo! We smash that like button. Let's rock and roll. That's Bitcoin. That's what we're looking at. That's what I want to do. I want to switch this to a dotted line because it's just a thought, right? And maybe it takes some time to play out, and it works out like something like that, right? Then maybe another one, right? And then maybe lower prices after that. So we will see, right? That's what we're going to watch. Wait for it. Let's take a look at MicroStrategy. Remember, we talked about after hitting 4 targets, would it find support? It's possible. Could find support. Could bounce up. Could put in a bear flag. I don't know. Could bounce up. Let the trending dots catch up, right? Do a little bit of a retracement. And then possibly, what if it comes down and fills this gap down here at 384? So, no, I don't just put blind buy orders in at a key target area. Could you? Yeah, you probably could, but that's not my strategy. My strategy is waiting for a higher probability reversal. So, yes, you could put buy orders in at, say, target 4 down here at $34,000, right? And you'd probably be okay with that. But what I've learned in through my pain, right? I don't do that. I want to wait for a higher probability reversal. It could put in bullish divergence, meaning lower prices. And when you're dealing with leverage or options or futures that have leverage, whatever, you don't want to guess. You want a higher probability reversal. And so I don't want to make a habit of that. And so I don't make a habit of that. So that's MicroStrategy. Continuing to see if it's going to be a leading indicator or not. Hit 4 targets to the downside. Will Bitcoin hit 4 targets to the downside? If so, we'd be looking at below $34,000. Woo! Sorry I'm late, Aldo. That's okay. That's right. Just misspell my name so that everyone knows that when I mispronounce their names, we have balance in the world. Don't worry. Don't worry, my man. You're here now. Let's keep going. Gold selling off. Remember gold up here? Remember all the posts on Twitter X app that and probably YouTubers too, gold is going to $10,000 again? It probably should be. This is my personal opinion. Don't even whatever. This is my own thought, right? When paper gold and paper silver was created, and now there's paper Bitcoin, meaning not just spot Bitcoin, not just spot gold, but you can actually trade it, whether it's ETFs, whether it's futures, CFDs, leverage, options, futures, whatever it is. There's so many different types of paper Bitcoin, paper gold. I think gold would be at $10,000. I think gold would probably be at $15,000. But paper gold and paper Bitcoin was created. So it's become more of a swing trading asset than a store of value, because it's unlimited leverage that you could, because it can be you could go unlimited leverage, right? That you could keep the price down as long as you want, right? If you're a big player. So, anyways, that's my own thought. But I think gold would be at $10,000 or $15,000. But there's paper gold, paper silver, and now paper Bitcoin since end of 2017, as far as my knowledge. Could have been earlier, but so anyways, take that for what it is. It's great for swing trading. This is a swing trading channel and investing channel, but not necessarily a hodl channel, right? And so if you're a hodler, that probably doesn't sound very good to you. That since they've created paper Bitcoin, it's easier to manipulate and it's easier to control for them. But the one positive with Bitcoin versus gold and silver, in my opinion, and I've been talking about this for 3 or 4 years, is that it's easier to buy spot Bitcoin, right? You can go on your phone and buy spot Bitcoin. Gold and silver is more difficult. If you've ever bought spot gold or silver, yes, they can deliver to your house, but when they've delivered to my house, it's a heavy package, right? It's a heavy package, and it's not as easy as me going on the phone and buying spot Bitcoin anytime I want. And the broker fees are ridiculous, right? If you try to go buy and sell spot gold and silver, they charge heavy broker fees. So you just don't really hold, you don't really buy and sell it. You just kind of hold it and it does nothing, right? So it's not for me. I own spot Bitcoin, spot gold and silver, but it's I don't make a habit of it all the time. I just I have some, but I'd rather own spot Bitcoin. So that's a long rant off track, but let's get back on track to the charts. Silver, right, was breaking down as well, way back below the 200-week moving average now. So we still put this out as a higher probability, right? Still waiting for that higher probability. We said whether it's here, down here, right? Could it put it in a double wick bottom? Sure. It could put it in a double wick bottom. It's possible at $22.50. But waiting for it to get back above this downward trend line, waiting for a higher probability reversal. Right now, it's just breaking down right now, right? So, and the dollar is pumping. So the dollar had a buy signal. We're going to get to that as well. So getting back above the trending dots, getting back above this downward trend line, and a buy signal, pending buy signal, all that stuff is lining up to be a higher probability reversal. Otherwise, it could just wick up like that and dump straight back down. So at silver, let's look over at crypto assets, right? We drew this out about a week ago that it's possible Ethereum still pumps all the way up into hit target 3. Remember, Bitcoin's hit target 4. Bitcoin has hit longer term target 4. Ethereum has not yet, right? So it's possible that it still does. It's also possible that it puts in this bull flag and then continues up to could be a bull flag or a bullish pennant, right? And that it comes all the way up and hits longer term target 3 and then possibly goes through a correction, or possibly all the way up to longer term target 4 and then goes through a correction similar to Bitcoin as well. But we will see. The dollar is pumping. The VIX is pumping. The last I looked at this morning, 10-year yield is pumping. So there's a lot of things going against it. The NASDAQ looks like it's kind of rolling over, blah, blah, blah. So that's Ethereum. We will see. DOT, did put in a lower high, We will see. This could be the low double wick bottom over here at target 2. But remember, we still have a confluence area over here. We've got a fourth target down here. It's possible. Still waiting for that higher probability. We're not just buying blindly off of a double wick at a key target area. You probably could, but that's not my strategy, right? So I don't do that. Sand, similar thoughts, right? Mana, similar thoughts, still watching and waiting, right? Chainlink. So wicks down here, 30% plus correction, bouncing up and broke out of this downward trend line, right? So the probabilities are increasing above the trending dots, right? A buy signal above the trending dots, broke out of this downward trend line, the probabilities are increasing that Chainlink is breaking out, right? Doesn't mean it couldn't still put in a lower high. This will obviously be what I'm saying is you wouldn't be in the clear, right? If you bought back here, if you bought back in here, then yes, it's breaking out, but just be aware that another milestone is getting back above $16.70 over here. If not, it could be putting in a lower high. So just be aware of that. And your line in the sand would probably be something like that. So just be aware that it is breaking out, but it could be one of those fake outs. We don't know yet. And if it starts breaking down from this trend line, then that possibility starts to happen. So be aware of that. And don't trade anything without stop losses, right? That's what I would say. Not financial advice, but I wouldn't be trading without stop losses, because if you take one nap with crypto and you wake up 20% lower, right? So there you go. There you go. Target one's been hit so far near. Still trending downward as of right now. Trending dots are still trending downward. Whether it breaks out here, or here, that's the next possible buy the dip scenario. Solana, right? Could Solana be breaking out? It's possible. It's possible. There's a buy signal. It's currently above the trending dots. I'm just saying caution, caution, caution. So if you're playing the breakout to the upside, just be cautious, because not even a target has been, well, maybe target one's been hit. I might have drawn 4 or 5 targets. I'd have to look at it. Seems like there's a target up in here, and there's a lot of price action around here as well. Most likely eyeball test. That's probably a target. Could be breaking out, right? But it's caution with everything I just announced or said. Announced everything I just said, right? Cardano has hit 2 targets to the downside so far. Still trending downward. Remember, told you I'm going to be redrawing a downward trend line on Bitcoin, right? Remember, I have this phantom downward trend line. So after a couple moves, could pump all the way back up, right? Put in this second touch point, and then I redraw it. This is why, right? So you had a big move down, lower high, big move down, right? Possible another lower high, wick all the way up, redrew it. So it was drawn like this. I didn't like it. It was really steep, really vertical, right? So I redrew it, and then that would be kind of how I see it playing out, right? Doesn't mean it will, but that's kind of how I see it playing out. And then you've got these longer term, not longer term, but midterm to shorter term targets that still haven't been hit, target 3 and target 4, right? So it's possible whether it finds support and bounces there, here, or all the way down here. We will see. We'll find out. So that is Cardano. That's kind of how it's all playing out in real time. Matic, similar thoughts, right? You could even probably adjust this to like this outside trend line, put the arrow out like that. Whoo! Let's move over to NASDAQ, and then we'll switch gears back over to the Magnificent Seven. Aldo, Daniel, what up, Daniel? Welcome back. Aldo trying to catch up at 1.25 speed. Oh, then my chair is probably moving like this on 1.25 speed. Probably too much for you to handle. NASDAQ, where are you at? We're down 0.85% today, right? Down 0.85%. Remember, we had the arrows up and we had the arrows down. We had them for a long time. We had this kind of game plan laying out. If you go back to previous live streams, we had those arrows out back here, right? Green arrow is the uptrend. Down arrow is break of the trend, right? So we had them back here. We kept moving them. And then we were spotting bearish divergence. Then it was starting to break down. Then we had a candle close below the trading dots and the trend line, right? Price came down. Sell signal looked like it was finding support here. And then we had drawn this out back here that we could see price pump back up, put in a lower high. And that would be the higher probability that prices come back down lower on the NASDAQ, possibly hit target 2, possibly hit target 3, 4. And then we put out this arrow down here. If it doesn't find support at target 4, then this red arrow comes into play, and we can see much lower prices after that. But until that happens, we're looking for it to find support at a key target area, target 2, target 3, or possibly even target 4. And we'll go from there, right? We'll take it level by level. We're not calling for NASDAQ to go to 0. We're also not calling NASDAQ to go to infinity, right? We're just calling it out as we see it. There's bearish divergence, a breakdown, pumps back up, possibly puts in a lower high. It's playing out in real time. If you drop down the 4-hour chart, right, you can see the bearish divergence. You can see it was oversold, pumped back up, right, and then starts to put in lower highs and breaking down from there. So we'll see how it plays out. We will see how it plays out, but that's the NASDAQ. I want to take a quick overview. SP 500, Dow Jones, and Russell are all going to look very similar, right? Had that shorter term rising wedge, which is bearish, right? Breaking down, looks like a lower high, breaking down. Didn't hit target 1 as of yet. Got this gap over here, smaller gap, but about $4,600 over there. Dow Jones, right? Dow Jones, bearish divergence, possible lower high, broke down from this even shorter term downward trend line and hit this pivot point here that we had called out and talked about it. Hasn't hit this longer term target yet over here. Again, another gap over here, all drawn from back over here. See if it gets a retracement. What a move that was. Nice move to the upside. Russell 2000, right? Overbought, probably bearish divergence, lower high, target 1, target 2 is hit so far. Could have come back down and retested 200-week moving average. It's possible. It's possible. Now, switching gears over to the dollar, the inverse, basically looking like the inverse. We've hit target 1 was down here. This is target 2. Target 3 was hit. We're going to change this on the live show. Target 3 has been hit. We talked about this back here. You know, it was getting back above the trending dots, could come back down, put in a higher low, and you can see the trending dots coming out. It started to consolidate. Looks like a higher low is getting put in, and then boom, back up to the upside. Could consolidate again, back to this phantom drawing, this yellow drawing line could and let the trending dots kind of catch up, right? Could consolidate back here and then make a move up to target 4. We will see. That's the dollar, right? Had that buy signal yesterday, but we were talking about it back here, talking about it. It could be finding the bottom over there. It was at a key target area 4. Hit 4 out of 4 targets to the downside. Same with the US 10-year yield. Hit 4 out of the 4 targets to the downside. Unity 25% retrace. Yep. They're fast movers, right? It's tech, right? And they're artificial intelligence, stock plays, high risk, high reward. They pump up. It's like catching lightning in a bottle, and then they retrace quickly, right? MENT. I'm not sure. You need 25% retracement. Not sure what you're saying, Javier. Maybe you can expand on what you're talking about. So US 10-year yield has hit 1 target so far. We're talking about how it was looks like it was finding bottom, possible bullish divergence, looking like bullish divergence down here, possible higher low, and now 4.1%. US 10-year yield is 4.1%. And I kept posting that it's possible we see 10-year yields at 4.4%. There's a confluence area there. I like that target a lot. 4th target here. Who knows if it goes even higher than that? Remember, this longer term target over here. We talked about it way back here. Still hasn't been hit yet, right? There's bearish divergence, lower high, breakdown from there. Blah, blah, blah. We talked about it all, covered it in real time, right? Still hasn't hit this longer term target up here. It's possible. It is possible. It wouldn't be good for mortgages. It wouldn't be good for businesses, real estate, all the businesses that come along with it. It would not be good for the markets, right? No longer cheap money. So we will see VIX, not good for the markets, right? Not good for the markets unless you're into that sort of thing, shorting the markets. Unless you're into that sort of thing over there. Big pump up, hit the 200-week moving average over here back in October. Big retracement, big consolidation. It was looking like a higher low. And here we are. Now confirmed. Higher high. Assuming the candle closed today, took out this pivot point over here, and the probabilities are starting to increase that the VIX is going to hit target 2, target 3, possibly target 4. And then who knows about the 200-week moving average again, back up here at $22. We will see. Oh, got it. Retracement. I misclicked. No problem. No problem. Just trying to figure it out in real time. Let's see those gold bullions. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Silver, gold, VIX, trending towards target 2, right? Trending towards target 2. What else? PayPal down another 1%. Talked about it. It's a long-term play. I talked about in the newsletter as an opportunity alert, right? And it was based off the weekly chart. Well, guess what? In a weekly chart, there could be pullbacks on the shorter time frames, right? So even though it's a longer-term play on PayPal, Teladoc, and then UNG was my last one, right? They all had buy signals on the weekly chart. But what I said was that they could all retrace in the shorter term based off of the daily chart because they were getting overbought. There was some divergences, right? And then once a higher low is put in on the weekly chart, a more defined higher low, then it is a higher probability of a reversal. So it may take some time to play out. It's a longer term play. It was based off of the weekly chart. It doesn't happen overnight, right? So if you can't handle it, don't do it, right? It's not financial advice anyways. I'm just letting you know what I'm seeing on the charts based off the longer term chart, which is the weekly chart. And it takes time. It's set it and forget it type of thing. So, but it could always go lower. There's always a risk that it could go lower. And I saw that there's like on the shorter time frames, even on PayPal, you can see it go all the way back to possibly even $53, $54, and everything could still be putting in a higher low as an example on PayPal. So that's PayPal. And those are the opportunity alerts in the newsletter that I'm putting out based off the weekly chart. Unity Software, continues to break down. If you're going all the way back from $22, right, after hitting 4 targets to the upside, remember, that's why we promote taking profits, right? We promote taking profits. We said it could find support here, right? It didn't. You could even see like eyeball test. If we eyeball test this Unity Software, you can see target 1, probably target 2, probably target 3, probably target 4, right? And it could possibly find support at all of them, right? It's possible. Comes all the way back down, right? The market makers give it. The market makers take it, right? Pumped all the way up like this, could consolidate like that, and then come all the way out. But man, when they give it to you, they give it to you. And they take it from you, right? Don't forget to take profits along the way. Just imagine these pump ups though, right? On Unity Software, from wick to wick, 95%, right? And then you go in a correction of possibly 36%, right? And then the next one, right? So that's how it kind of flows, right? This is a huge pump up, huge correction down, right? Lesser pump up could be a lesser correction down, puts in another higher low, and that is Unity Software, right? So that's Unity Software. Remember, the trailing dots are still down, still bearish on the daily chart, and that's how these tech stocks work. They're high risk, high reward, and don't forget to take profits along the way. Lemonade. So got this gap down here at $11. That'd be amazing. I was waiting for this move over here. I was waiting, and then they gapped it up on me and I missed it. If it came all the way back down, that would be amazing. Then I wouldn't miss it, hopefully, the second time around. SQQQ, the inverse of the NASDAQ, right? Talked about it. Talked about it. Remove the drawings. Let's redraw this, right? This is that was probably based off a potential longer term play. Let's draw this out. Let's take a look at it, right? So you got this move here, right? You got a low, and it looks like a higher low, almost the exact opposite. This is the ProShares ultra short 3x leverage. One of our sniper queens in the Discord over there, Myrna Bacon, right? Myrna Bacon Sometimes she's on these live streams with us. She's in SQQQ, I believe, or at least the last time she was on here, she was a low, possible higher low. Could be breaking on this downward trend line. Could be right above the trending dots. And if so, right? If so, then we'd be looking at possible, target 1, target 2, target 3, target 4, something like that. Maybe even higher. But could do something like that, come back down. Who knows what happens after that? But as the NASDAQ looks like it's going through a correction, you get the SQQs over here, which is the inverse, and then could be breaking out to the upside. You don't need futures. You don't need options or anything like that. This stock is highly volatile, anyways, especially 3X. So if you're looking at, this would be a shorter term play for me if I were to do it all the way to say target 3, 38%. I believe that's multiplied by the 3X leverage that's already built into it. So it could be a massive 100% move. But you better know what you're doing and you better know how to take profits, right? So have a profit strategy, have an exit strategy, right? So that's SQQ over there. Let's switch gears over to the Magnificent Seven real quick. NVIDIA down 1.31%. Still ultra bullish right now, though. Not a short play for me. Meta down 0.43%. We already kind of covered this on the heat maps. Woo! Down 0.41%, but came back to the trending dots. We will see. Amazon had bearish divergence, right? Yep, bearish divergence. So we will see if it's going to break down similar to the NASDAQ. You can even kind of draw it out like this, right? And then put this back up like there, and then boom. That's kind of how I would do it anyways, because it looks similar to the NASDAQ where it broke down, pumped all the way back up, possible bearish divergence. Who knows if it puts in a lower high and then continues downward on Amazon, currently down 1.35%. Microsoft, right? Bearish divergence, but still bullish, right? But bearish divergence going all the way back to $376 over here. And on November 16th, something to be aware of, bearish divergence. Microsoft currently down 0.37%. I don't have shorts on these. Tesla. Tesla is falling out the bottom right now. Will it find support? Remember, I put out that post a while back. When silver was trending down towards the 200-week moving average, I put out a post with a poll on my main Twitter X app. Silver's back to the 200-week moving average. Could we see Bitcoin do a round trip? Could we see gold do a round trip? Could we see Apple go back to 200-week moving average? And lo and behold, folks, Tesla has gone back to the 200-week moving average. So Tesla is down 2.77% today. Remember, we talked about this. We covered it. There was bearish divergence. We called it out in real time. There's bearish divergence. There's a reverse candle. It was breaking down. It was even breaking down from this trend line here, like that, back below the trending dots, back below this upward trend line, and then it's just breaking down from there, right? So back below the 200-week moving average. Many investors are going to say that is bearish, right? So it's possible it continues lower, right? I'd have to map it out, but it's possible it continues lower from there. Tesla is bearish on the daily chart. Let's take a look over at the weekly chart over here. There was even a sell signal last week, right? So it is possible the trend continues down lower, right? So again, I'd have to map it out. If you got this longer term downward trend line, it's kind of mapping it out like that. The higher probability is going to be above that, wherever that is, wherever it turns out to be. Let's kind of redraw this out on a longer term standpoint, because you got this trend line here. Even broke down from that, right? Broke down, back tested it, looks like a lower high, and it's continuing downward from right now. It's not a buy the dip scenario for me on Tesla. It is bearish on the weekly chart, it is bearish on the daily chart, down 3% right now. Tesla John, are you here? Are you okay? Should we check on you? Can someone call Tesla John? Are we doing okay over there, sir? Apple had a weekly sell signal. right? Apple battled it, came back tested those trending dots. This is a weekly chart, by the way. Weekly chart on Apple. Kind of draw this out a little bit better like that, right? You could even draw it out like that. And so you could even say that this is bearish divergence, broke down, came all the way back up, back tested it, and could possibly breaking down from here. It's pending another sell signal on the weekly chart, right? Could be it was a lower RSI peak. You got bearish divergence there, and then you got additional bearish divergence here, right? And another RSI possible sell signal. Could be going down, right? Could be going down lower. What if Apple retests the 200-week moving average? Similar to Tesla is possible. What if it did? I'm not hearing too many people talk about it. It's quietly down from those all-time highs over here December 11th, the week of, and it's currently down almost 9% on a $3 trillion asset, or what was a $3 trillion asset, probably closer to 2.7 trillion now, right? Probably 2.7 trillion, 2.8 trillion as of right now. So Google, bearish divergence on the weekly chart, right? Bearish divergence, possible pending. Well, we have a pending reversal candle, possible reversal candle on the weekly chart for Google. What if Google was similar to Tesla and came back and retested the 200-week moving average, similar to silver, similar to Tesla, similar to silver? Say that 10 times. We're going to get tongue twisted over here. So that's the Magnificent Seven. Let's move over. What else? How are the Bitcoin miners doing over here, right? Bitcoin miners, right, came back to the 200-week moving average, right? CLSK is down into target 3. Could come back down to target 4. CLSK, Marathon Digital back to the 200-week moving average. Remember, we talked about could these major ones come back to the 200-week moving average? Yes, they could. Will it? We don't know for sure, but what that means is all these other ones could also come back to the 200-week moving average, and we're starting to see that right now. And they could even go below it, right? So Marathon Digital back to the 200-week moving average. Riot was above it and is well below it, right? I haven't mapped this out, but the eyeball test says it's hit 4 targets to the downside, right? On Riot. We're going to make it, aka Valkyrie Bitcoin Miners ETF. These are all Bitcoin miners, right? So how are we going to draw this out? The next possible by the dip. Probably going to be more like that, right? Probably there's going to be a second touch point at some point. Maybe it comes up like this. We've seen this happen a lot. Down, right? Who knows how it works out? Puts in some bullish divergence. Comes out like that, right? Puts in that higher low. Takes some time to play out. Woo! Smash that like button. Let's go. G-Rod. Good morning, G-Rod. Good morning, Market Sniper Kings and Queens. Yep, G-Rod. Welcome. I'm late. It's okay. Better be late than never, right? So that's kind of how I see it play out. Very similar to Bitcoin, where there's going to be a second touch point. There's going to be another opportunity, but there's going to be some times to trap some more bulls, more pain, trap some more bulls, more pain for them, right? And then the next possible buy the right dip, right? We're going to put in that higher low, rock and roll, higher low, rock and roll, hive. So all the thoughts are similar, right? It's just going through a correction. You got this second touch point right here that looks pretty good. Kind of lines up with Bitcoin and what I just drew out on WGMI. Hive's actually got a second touch point already. So again, could be something like this, down like this, and then come out like that, right? So we've seen that pattern play out so many times, and it's possible it does that again. Give us that bullish divergence would be amazing. MIGI breaking down as we're talking about, right? Hut, right? 946 as of right now. We talked about this in the Discord. Played the options to the upside, played stock to the upside, played options to the downside. And we're just kind of watching to see if it puts in a higher low. And of course, probably another second touch point as well on Hut. Woo, these are a lot of Bitcoin miners. So we're not going to keep covering all of them. Imagine this short works out. I'm not expecting it to. That would be too good to be true. But I did line it up. I did put it out there. And we will see in the next few months if this short works out or not, or if it just continues to pump up higher. I put some lunch money on it. It's not a big deal. If I lose the lunch, if I lose the lunch money, if I lose that, then I just won't eat for a day, right? I just won't eat for the day. But the risk to reward ratio to target 1 is like an 8-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Target 2 is like 16-to-1. I mapped it all out with options. And then and this gap down here, if it were to fill that gap with my options play, it's ridiculous. I'm not even going to tell you what the risk to reward ratio is. So for me to put some lunch money on it, it's not a big deal, and it's worth the risk, because we know in recorded coaching where I posted this setup as for educational purposes only. And by the way, I don't teach options whatsoever. I'm not going to teach options. It's a whole nother animal. You can get some free options education over at Tastyworks, right? I don't have any affiliate links. It's free. But if you want to learn options, you can learn the strategy first by going over to Market Sniper over here. You can learn the strategy under services and the recorded coaching over here, get the indicators, and then go over to Tastyworks and learn how to do options. But that's not what I'm going to do. A lot of people aren't ready for that. A lot of people will lose even more money, right, with options. And so I'm not gonna spend the time to teach that and coach it and field all the questions. It'd be a lot. So it's possible this works out, right? And if it does, it'd be great. But I'm just pointing it out. And some people asked me how I found, like, I think it was Aldo, asked me how I found ANF, Abercrombie and Fitch, and IMGN also. I found them because I Googled what was the top performing assets of 2023, right? I wanted to see what spiked up the hardest, what possibly went parabolic, what gapped up 77%. And that's IMGN. IMGN was a top performer, I think like top 10, right? Possible top 10 performer. And, I didn't verify it, but I just Googled it. And so lo and behold, there's a 77% gap up. And then on ANF, it also went parabolic. So it's still going parabolic, but down 1.43%. So those are the kind of like the opportunities I was looking for after something goes straight up. Or straight down, could I get the retracement either up or down, right? So what a move that was for Abercrombie and Fitch, right? So we will see. Longer term play over here, right? Longer term play. Just had a buy signal on the weekly chart and kind of map this out. Of course, it could go lower, right? I have it mapped out here. Could go lower first, put in a higher low, and then come back out. So we will see how it plays out. Also, it could find support here, right around that downward trend line, come back out as well. But I just put that in the newsletter as well. So if you want all the details over there on the newsletter, the bullish divergence, all that stuff, definitely go find it over here. I did it. One of these over here. I can't remember. One of the recent newsletters, one of the last 4, the last one, I think, bearish weekly candle. I think it's over there. So yeah, one of the last newsletters. I did all the thing over there, but I even mentioned, right? It was a weekly buy signal, and I mentioned in the newsletter and on the video that hey, it could even gap down, and it did. It could gap down on Tuesday, right? This is based off of Friday weekly close up at $6.81. I said it could gap down, and it did. And then a more defined higher low would be a higher probability of it breaking out and then coming back up, possibly hitting the 200-week moving average. Even from that weekly candle to target 1, we mapped out it was a 70% possibility, right? Well, now from current price at 576, it's become 100% opportunity. So it's even better, right? It's even better. So we will see. We got a gap over here at 1396 as well. And we got longer term market sniper targets, longer term bullish divergence. and blah, 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 blah. Whether it works out or not, we don't know. We're just watching it. Tesla John, I'm here. Awesome. Awesome, Tesla John. How you doing? You hanging in there? Are you hanging in there? Hopefully. Imagine Target does same as IMGN with the island. Yeah. No, I know. I know what you're saying. The gap, it was starting to look like it was going to break down too, but it could gap down. Could be an island top, right? Could be an island top. Target, I know exactly what you're saying. I was looking at that, and it's looking like it's coming back to the trending dots. Let's look at the lower time frame, right? Yeah, just give me some of that, right? I'm not shorting Target, but you got that gap down here, right? And let's see, from there, even there, I mean, that's a massive move. That is a massive move if it were to fill that gap. So yeah, it's possible, right? I kind of redraw this out like this, right? And you can even see it broke down, came back up, red training dot, came back tested it. Probably pretty good. I should actually look at this on the options myself. You know, so that would be a potential play, and that could be putting in another higher low, and that would be target, especially if retail. I think retail was. I haven't even looked because I'm not a fundamental trader, right? But I think fundamentals, retail sales came out this morning at 5:30 a.m. I think. I'm pretty sure, but I haven't looked at those numbers. If anyone knows what the retail sales were, if they were down, you could probably see Target based off of that news also help get pushed down. Of course, we look at it based off of bearish divergence, right? There's Myrna. Good morning. Welcome. Tesla John. Yep. Good morning, Myrna Bacon. Welcome. It's possible Target after having bearish divergence, right? And if it plays out similar on IMGN, it would probably take some time for the options to play out as well, right? I think it looks like IMGN is probably about this area right here. So it may take another month to play out, but I have time, right? I have time on it. That if that gives you a hint to the strikes and times and stuff like that. So it's possible it puts in bearish divergence like this and then possibly breaks down after that. Could be that IMGN is even right around this area, pumps up one more time, and then see if it comes down like that. The options were very cheap, so it's possible it pumps back up, but I'm not too worried about it. At the end of the day, it's lunch money. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I might have to take a look at Target, especially if there's some retail sales. You got bearish divergence, right? And then even eyeball test, coming back down to here is 10%, right? 10% to there, and then of course, if we're to fill the gap in like a month or so or less, right? That's 20%. So I'm gonna have to definitely take a look at that one. Good call out, Javier. I've been watching it, but I didn't look at it today, and it looks like it's starting to break down. And if you look at the 4-hour chart, already had a sell signal, looking pretty good. Actually, I might have to take a look at that one even closer. So good call out. That's what we're doing over here. We're doing this in real time. Did anyone request anything? Anyone request anything else? We kind of talked about Unity and looked at Unity a little bit. Target. I think that's about it. We looked at SQQQ for Myrna, even though she didn't ask for it. That's what we did. That's what we do. Let's see. Let's circle back to Bitcoin. Right. We'll see if this turns out to be a bear flag or not. You know my thoughts on a bear flag. Coinbase, please. Dallas White, you got it. You got it. Market Sniper over there in the Discord. Dallas White. Let's take a look at it. Coinbase. I know I have it on the watch list, but let's look over here. Coin. Yep, there it is. Got it. Yep. Looks eyeball test, right? Eyeball test. Looks like it's hit 3 of the 4 targets to the downside. Very tiny gap down here. So not too worried about it, but something that to pay attention to. There's small gap down there. Looks like it's hit like 3 of the 4 eyeball targets so far. I kind of mapped this out as a possible bear flag, and it looks like it's kind of playing out, right? So if you take this from like here to there, right, you could even go like that. And then I just did an eyeball test on it. So like I said, not always do the bear flags work out all the way to like as a price target. So that's kind of like what it was looking like. It was breaking down from here. But if it does, you can see it come back down lower, possibly even down to target 4. So that's Coinbase. Still bearish on the daily chart, right? Could be finding temporary support, maybe get a bounce back up, let the trending dots and moving averages catch up. That's Coinbase. I'm okay. Waiting for the next buy the dip on Tesla. Awesome. Awesome. Good to be waiting patiently. With that, we're about 55 minutes into it. I don't see any others. Hopefully, they answered all your guys' questions, guys and girls. With that, hope everyone's doing well. Hope you have a good rest of your day on this fantastic winning Wednesday. And with that, we will see you tomorrow on Thursday. And smash that like button, smash the subscribe button. Definitely help me, help you, help me. And follow me over here on the Twitter Spaces, the free newsletter. And of course, if you want to take a deeper dive and join the Discord over here, we have 2 different packages. We got the Discord and the Sharpshooter Indicator 3.1 and everything listed over here. And then, of course, we've got the deeper dive over here with the 60+ hours. So with that, thank you. I appreciate it. And we will see you tomorrow. All right.